Hi, everybody. This is Coach Allison, and we are in week 5 for Defy Aging. And this week we have back to stations, but we're going to run it a little bit differently. So there's, again, 6 stations, but at each station, you're going to stay there for 3 rounds of 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. So technically, you're only going to be at each station one time, meaning we're not rotating around multiple times because you're going to be getting your 3 sets in kind of all at once. All right, so 30 on, 30 off times 3 at your station, and then you move to the next one. 30 on, 30 off for 3 rounds at that station, and so on until we make it all the way around. A little bit different. We will go through our demonstrations and a little team builder at the end. Station 1 is the tank push. We did this 2 weeks ago, I believe. So we're using our tank over there. And, get to one end, go to the other side of the tank, push it back, other side, push it back. Just keep going for the full 30 seconds. Just stop the tank wherever it happens to be when the 30 seconds are up. You don't have to return it to the starting position or anything. Again, we talked about this 2 weeks ago when we had it. If we need to do some doubling up for our larger attended sessions, have one person push on each of the 2 handles there. So these 2, one person on each side, and then make sure the resistance is up at the highest resistance level, so it doesn't push too easily because there are 2 people pushing. That's a great way to utilize needing to double up at the tank station. Anyway, that is station 1. Station 2 is our agility ladder. I'm going to let it be up to your coach what agility ladder drill you're going to be doing for the workout. It might change daily if the coach has some fun ideas and want to change from Defy, like Monday versus Tuesday versus Wednesday and so on. Might be the same one the whole week. I'm going to leave that up to your coach. There's a lot of fun varieties for the agility ladder. Some are more cardio based, some are more agility and footwork based, and they're all good. So that'll be station 2, the agility ladder. Station 3, I'm not doing very much demoing here, am I? If you haven't noticed yet, and I actually did fail to mention it in the intro, this week is really a cardio focus. So we're getting away from dumbbells, kettlebells. So anyway, that being said, station 3 is our battle rope. And once again, I know we had battle rope, double arm waves last week, or slams or whatever. This week, I'm going to, similar to the agility ladder station, I'm going to leave it up to your coach to select the battle rope variety for either the day or the week. There's so many, and I'm not going to pull it out just for this, but you can do alternating. That's pretty straightforward. There's big circles. That's a good one. There's side to side. There's in and out waves. You can even get really creative and do something like the arms with the ropes and add some squats into it. That gets tough. And I'm sure your coaches have some other great ideas. So battle rope, it'll be a surprise what it's going to be specifically, but that's station 3. Station 4 is hopovers. Okay, so I actually need a piece of equipment now that I'm going to use. It's exactly what it sounds like. We're going to do hops over. I recommend putting one of the resistance bands down. I do want you to have something on the floor to jump over. Sometimes I get the question from clients a lot. Can I just jump? Do I have to jump over something? It's like, okay, yes, you certainly can just jump. But the purpose of having something to jump over, it's a little more incentive to have to pick up your feet more. And that's what we're trying to do with a lot of this stuff is train our body to still be able to really react and pick up those feet to avoid trip and falls, things like that. So I highly recommend, please jump over something, even if you use a jump rope, because those are only like, this thick off the floor, but it's still something that your feet have to clear. So keep that in mind. I do want you to jump over something, but it's exactly what it sounds. We're going to hop side to side. You can, if you're new at it and jumps are challenging, one at a time like that, use those arms for momentum. Don't worry about speed. If you get more comfortable with it or you're more familiar with this, you can go a little faster. If you run into it, like this, just step, that's okay. That's fine. Just straighten it out and keep going. If anyone is unable to do the jumps because of the impact, a knee, an ankle, a back reason, do still use something on the floor. And we're going to do a side fast step touch. So now you are going for speed. If this is the variety that you're doing, I do want you to go for speed. Step touch and still trying not to kick it. And I'm going to go back to what I said a second ago about anyone who's unable to do the jumps, please keep in mind that doesn't mean that you don't like to do the jumps. I'm not sure if anyone loves jumping. It's very good for us, not just the reasons I mentioned before, but the type of muscle fibers that jumping works. It's good for bone density, doing things with mild impact. So that's another perk, things like jumps. Anyway, let's try the jumps. We have the other option if not, and that is station 4. Station 5 is farmer's carry. So I kind of lied earlier when I said we're getting away from weights and dumbbells today. I did forget about this one. A double arm farmer's carry. This isn't so much cardio. I mean, it is just because it's exercise and you're carrying heavy weight, but I mean, it's more stability, control. We're strengthening our grip muscles, even shoulders, back, core, and a little, and of course, the agility, making sure we're walking safely. But pick the weights up safely. So don't just reach down sloppy. We want to protect our back. Use your legs. Once you have I recommend kettlebells versus dumbbells. Not a huge deal. The reason I recommend them over dumbbells is because they're bottom loaded. So the weight just kind of comfortably just hangs straight down. Whereas the dumbbells, you have to get your hand right in the center of the dumbbell. Otherwise, it might sort of tip forward or tip back. And we do want to go heavy on this. You're not, curling it, lifting it overhead, anything like that, squatting with it. So since we are just carrying it, let's challenge that weight and go pretty heavy. Once you pick the weights up, take your shoulders down and back so your chest is out and your shoulder blades are kind of together behind you. Keep your chin parallel to the floor. We're trying not to look down. And we go for a controlled walk. Okay, your coach will have a designated spot for this. Yes, I feel like I was going to say, oh, yeah, and a cue that I heard a past coach say that I really, really love is to pretend you're carrying 2 full buckets of water that you don't want to spill. So we're just trying to avoid, wobbling and shaking and being too clunky. All right, that's our farmer's carry, station 5. And station 6, I did throw in a little bit of core. We're going to do a high plank hold. High plank means you're on your hands like the start of a push-up as opposed to down on your forearms like a traditional plank. So you can do knees, of course. Ouch. So it looks like this. There you go. Pretty straightforward. It's not this. Okay. So you want your hands right underneath your shoulders, not forward like this. Keep that in mind. Hips parallel to the floor so we're not sinking down, but we're also not making that steeple. If you're doing a knee version, make sure that your hips are still level parallel to the floor, meaning you kind of have to make this diagonal shape. Because again, if you do this, this is just a tabletop position and there's no core challenge here at all. So you have to take those hips, sink them down if you're doing a knee version. And of course, we can do a high plank on an inclined surface, a box or a bench, to either A, work up towards the more difficult ones, which are on the floor, or B, if getting onto the floor is not an option for us. Okay. All right. High plank for number 6. Okay. And so for our team builder, last week we had the medicine ball, the overhead toss in one of our stations, right? So this week for our team builder, we're going to keep using this, keep going with kind of a throwing type movement, but we're going to do an underhand toss now. We're going to do a popcorn style, so you don't know where it's going to be coming from, so everyone gets in a circle relatively kind of close, because we don't want to have to chuck a heavy ball like across a huge circle, right? Huge space. So get everyone relatively close, mediumly close. And yeah, for a minute, we're just going to popcorn around. You can throw it to the person next to you. So just like this, you could throw it to the person all the way across the circle. I'm by myself, so I don't get the ball back. Just be ready. So we plant our feet. We're making sure we're looking where the ball is in case it comes to us. Reaction time, right? Because if we're not 100% expecting it, we only have a second or two to react and catch it. And again, we're doing that kind of underhand toss like this. So I think this will be fun. We're not holding a squat. We're not doing balance. It's really focusing on the hand-eye coordination, the reaction time, paying attention, because I know it's easy to get distracted, right? So we got to keep our eye on that ball and a little bit of the work throwing that ball. So, all right, 60 seconds of our popcorn ball toss, and that's the team builder. All right, that wraps up week 5 demo. So I hope everyone enjoys this workout, a little different way to run things for some variety. And on a final note, I don't know if I'm supposed to be mentioning this, but I just want to make sure everyone is staying safe, and I hope everyone is staying safe with what is happening in all of our neighborhoods right now. So please, from me, stay safe, and I will see you next week.